James Garner was never supposed to be a Hollywood icon. He often described himself as an accident, a man who wandered into fame rather than chased it. Yet by the end of his life, he had become one of the most trusted, admired, and quietly respected figures American entertainment ever produced. And in the final years, when reflection replaced ambition, Garner chose honesty over myth, leaving behind words that revealed far more than his public image ever did. Born James Scott Bumgarner on April 7, 1928, in Norman, Oklahoma, Garner's early life was shaped by loss and hardship. His mother died when he was only 5 years old, a wound that never fully healed. His relationship with his stepmother was difficult and often painful, forcing him to grow up fast and rely on himself. That early struggle planted something deep within him, an empathy for broken people and an instinctive understanding of quiet suffering that would later define his performances. Before Hollywood, Garner lived a life far removed from glamour. He worked blue-collar jobs, tried his hand at football, and eventually joined the U.S. Army, serving during the Korean War. He was wounded twice in combat and received the Purple Heart. Those experiences grounded him permanently. He never romanticized fame, never trusted authority blindly, and never forgot the cost of real sacrifice. Audiences sensed that authenticity. When Garner appeared on screen, he felt real because he was. His entry into acting was almost accidental. In the early 1950s, he studied briefly at the Actors Studio in New York, but he never embraced theatrical exaggeration. Instead, he developed a natural, conversational style that felt revolutionary at the time. He didn't perform at the audience. He spoke to them. That restraint became his signature. Everything changed in 1957 when he was cast as Brett Maverick in the television western Maverick. Unlike the rigid, stone-faced heroes of the genre, Maverick was clever, ironic, and slightly reluctant. Garner infused the role with humor and intelligence, turning the show into a massive hit and himself into a household name. More importantly, it set the tone for his entire career. Garner specialized in men who were decent without being preachy, strong without being loud, and intelligent without arrogance. His move from television to film felt effortless. Throughout the 1960s, he delivered memorable performances in The Great Escape, The Americanization of Emily, Grand Prix, and Support Your Local Sheriff. He moved comfortably between drama and comedy, never overselling emotion, never chasing applause. What set him apart was not flash, but trust. Audiences trusted him. Behind the scenes, Garner was just as principled. At a time when studios held overwhelming power, he challenged unfair contracts and won. His lawsuits against Warner Brothers and Universal quietly reshaped how actors were treated. He never positioned himself as a crusader, but his actions spoke clearly. Fairness mattered. Dignity mattered. In 1974, Garner returned to television with the Rockford Files, creating one of the most influential characters in TV history. Jim Rockford was not glamorous. He was tired, broke, bruised, and stubbornly honest. Garner brought humor, vulnerability, and humanity to the role, earning an Emmy and cementing his legacy. The character's influence can still be felt in modern television decades later. As he aged, Garner leaned into maturity rather than resisting it. Performances in Murphy's Romance, Space Cowboys, and later The Notebook revealed a man unafraid of tenderness or aging. His portrayal of enduring love introduced him to a new generation and reinforced what longtime fans already knew. Garner didn't age out of relevance. He deepened into it. Off-screen, his personal life was marked by rare stability. In 1956, he married Lois Clark just 16 days after meeting her. The decision shocked many, but the marriage endured for nearly 58 years. Fame never defined their relationship. Commitment did. Garner often joked about marriage, but beneath the humor was respect and loyalty. He embraced Lois's daughter from a previous marriage as his own and remained a devoted husband and father throughout his life. Their marriage was not perfect. They experienced periods of separation, but each time, they chose to return, to recommit quietly without spectacle. In an industry known for excess and instability, their union stood as a quiet contradiction. In the twilight of his life, Garner became more reflective. His health declined after years of physical strain, multiple knee surgeries, heart bypass surgery, and a stroke in 2008. Pain became a constant companion, but he rarely complained. Endurance had always been his way. It was during this period that Garner wrote a deeply personal note to Doris Day, his longtime friend and co-star. Their friendship stretched back decades, rooted in shared values and mutual understanding. Together, they had starred in The Thrill of It All and Move Over, Darling, and Off-Screen. They shared something rarer than chemistry. They shared trust. In his note, Garner stripped away the public image. He admitted that his relaxed demeanor had often been a shield. Behind the smiles, he worried constantly about work, about money, about whether he truly deserved his success. He spoke of loneliness, of the pressure to remain likable, of the emotional cost of always being the good guy. To Doris Day, who had endured her own hidden struggles, he wrote with honesty rather than nostalgia. He acknowledged regrets, missed moments, and the toll of physical pain endured in silence. He reflected on how fighting studios for fairness had been necessary, but exhausting. Dignity, he wrote, should not require constant battle. Most of all, he spoke about kindness, about how decency survived even in an industry that often punished it. He thanked her for reminding him that being good was not weakness, but resistance. As the note ended, Garner did not romanticize his life. He did not claim perfection. He claimed effort. He expressed gratitude for his wife, his family, and the fans who stayed with him across generations. And then, with quiet clarity, he left a final truth. That kindness lasts longer than fame. That noise fades. That honesty remains. James Garner passed away on July 19, 2014, at the age of 86, from a heart attack caused by coronary artery disease. His body had endured decades of strain, but his legacy remained intact. Not as a myth, but as a man. He left behind more than films and television shows. He left behind an example of integrity without arrogance, strength without cruelty, fame without illusion. And in the end, like all his best performances, James Garner didn't need spectacle. He told the truth quietly, and that truth has lasted.